Welcome back to the podcast called Tell the World. I'm your host, Ota. So, I've been sitting in front of a UCLA hospital for about, maybe 3 hours now. So, I've been here since 2 a.m. And I believe it's going on almost 5 o'clock. So, I'm just not just staking it out, not like that, but I am here for a personal reason. But, me coming here, I've been here for about I made 3 trips here. And the weirdest thing is that when you come to UCLA and you pull up, they don't allow you to, stop in front of the place, but because you have to drop that person off. But they don't allow you to park there or stand out there too long. If you're there for yourself, then you're in there because they don't allow you to go past the door. So there's a tent, and the tent is for general information before they allow you in. So I'm figuring they're doing blood pressure checks and asking you questions about your symptoms or your illness. And they also have a letterhead out there on the pole that says no cell phones. And I thought that was kind of odd. So, me making 3 trips here has not been for the virus-related epidemic we're having right now, but more so me coming here for something else that's personal. But what I'm seeing right now is just weird because the numbers that they're calling out is not adding up with the dramatic of what the news is saying. What some states that are saying certain things of the toll rate of death, it's just not adding up. Now, can I compare Los Angeles death toll with New York? Because New York right now has a bigger death toll. And with some sources that I have within New York, the death toll there, some of the numbers are not adding up either based on the tents that they asked for, that they had out there at the park versus the Navy ship coming in for anybody who has this COVID illness. The same way with California, the Navy ship comes in. And the weirdest shit is that it's not that many people in these tents. It's not that many people on these boats. These Navy ships they're talking about, it's not a lot of people on there that they can just tell you that this is big. So when that ship came to California, they made it known that they didn't want nobody near the ship, so they would have the police department blocking it off. And I'm assuming blocking it off meaning that if anybody had it, they didn't want a lot of people circulating around that area, congregating, basically social distance, which I understand. But they made sure that place was being protected, that ship was being protected, where you probably couldn't get your camera too much around of seeing who goes in, who comes out. Patient-wise, this shit just don't seem to make sense. And please, people, don't judge me when I say thank God for Trump. The reason why I say that is because previously I've said many times that the world already know Donald Trump. And Donald Trump's behavior has never changed. That's like somebody you know personally. When you talk to them, you know their behaviors, and it's nothing new you expect out of them. But you understand them. And you understand their characteristics, so, you just understand who you're listening to all the time. So that's how I see Trump. But these Democrats been wasting so much time trying to get him impeached. It never happened. The Russia incident, it never happened. This big trial thing they wanted to impeach him for, it never happened. And when I said previously in one of my episode podcasts that he was bulletproof. I didn't mean it that way. Like he couldn't be touched. But the evidence just wasn't supportive enough based on putting him really involved. So it's really not adding up, people. And I question it. I really question all of this because none of this makes sense. The virus exists. Call it the flu. Call it the double flu. Because it does twice or 3 times or 4 times more than what the average flu would do. Now, if your health is not that up to par, this is what I mean about it causes 2 to 3 times more difficulties of you dealing with the common flu. And the people that are dying are urban blacks. And we can get into that subject there. You know, everybody don't have health care. You know, and everybody don't have the best of diets. There are things we can change, but that's personal. That's up to the individual, you know, of making sure that, you know, they take care of themselves. So we're all not that great at, you know, maintaining ourselves. Sometimes we fall. That's normal. But, you know, there's always opportunities to, you know, get yourself back 95, 85, 75%, you know, better until you, you know, get yourself able where you're well. Because that's more important, just being well. And we're not going to judge people really based on health. But my point is with this flu, this is some weird shit, people. So Donald Trump has already, the health organization, he has put a halt on funding them any more money. And he's having them investigated. Now, this is why I say thank God for Trump. Because in the first place, this shit just didn't sound right. They test whatever comes into this planet probably mostly every day. It all depends, scientists, or how they do it. But they test our atmosphere. They test our skies. And any organisms coming on this planet, they will find out, you know, that it's something unnaturally not made here on Earth or don't belong here on Earth. This virus is man-made. A lot of our minds are open to this because this shit don't sound right. And I'm not getting into the religion part about life, but no God would put this upon his people. This would be the worst example any God would put upon us. This type of plague. Our minds are open to things now that probably back then could be said, and people probably could interpret it the right way, so they just came up with other ways of expressing it based on they might have not had the knowledge of understanding what they were seeing, or as well as what they were believing. But believe me, people, this is not God-made. This is man-made. CDC asses should have been investigated. The health organization of just trying to create these vaccinations to prevent us from getting sick should have been investigated. This is weird because the homeless that I see every day on the streets, I don't see them having these problems. I don't see these issues coming about. I see their same everyday life going on. Now they're on the streets around the elements. It's hard to find soap sometimes when you're on the street. You could have soap, but where can you go to wash your hands if there's not places open where you could go to take care of your personal hygiene? Sometimes you got to put a few things together, and if it don't make sense on what you're seeing, you're not easy to fall into certain things out there. Bill Gates, them, all of them, don't trust these people. Him stepping down from Microsoft, and wanted to put his more time into saving the world, discussing a virus that wasn't really a big deal back then. I believe 2015 he was having a discussion about this coronavirus that sometime in the near future it may be an epidemic. We're talking about now. You're talking about somebody who's speaking like they're God. They're predicting things before it happened. Is these the people we believe in? Don't trust these people. Trust yourself. Trust your basic instincts. Now, if you go in that hospital and say if you do have a precondition which your health is not, it hasn't always been strong. How do we know if they're using these ventilators? I mean, think about it. This virus causes shortness of breath, difficulty of breathing. It's something that, that causes people to eventually die. Pneumonia, all of this plays a role. I myself has never been vaccinated because I felt like in my spirit that me coming into this world, I believe that I already had those immunities. Now, I wasn't able to stop my parents from giving it to me. I understand the measles, I understand the chicken pox, but that shit is still coming today. Chicken pox and measles right now, especially measles. So these diseases and old diseases that are coming back, come on, people, where do you think they're servicing from? Where do you think they're coming from? Sometimes you get these smart people and they can be a little too damn smart. But not only just smart, these are the people that could be dangerous. How does a virus spread all over the world that fast? Ebola didn't spread that fast. It was just in parts of Africa. Ebola wasn't a airborne disease, but I believe this corona is. I believe SARS was a airborne disease, but it didn't get to the point where we were dealing with that issue over here. We know how Trump is, but you got to understand what I see in Trump. And the things that I see in Trump, what better person to attack its own race than the same race attacking each other? Trump called these people out, like Hillary, called them out for what they were. He spit out the beans on all of them. That didn't sit well for a lot of them Democrats. And each time they tried to get him in trouble and use his fucked up words that he would say when he humiliate people, they just found things to try to make him seem like he was bad. He's not bad. He's done some things that benefits him, but there's really not much he can benefit from the people besides a vote. But don't let your vote weigh your decision of what's really going on. You have to look at all the Democrats right now. I believe they got one person who may have the virus. Is it Ron Paul? I believe he has it. But I don't see really not a lot of them really out right now. After this impeachment they tried that didn't successfully follow through, they all vanished. They all vanished and went into hiding. Nancy, where's she at? Besides them passing that bill. Some of these people right now are not even, politicians are not even wearing masks. Social distance? No one's even really doing that. within that politician group of people. A lot of people are not falling for some of this shit that's out there. I'm still looking at this hospital front. And I'm telling you, people, just because they say stay at home, don't mean that that emergency room is being packed with people. Now, watching some of this news, they replay the same thing over and over and over to make it look like it's something, but it's really not. And you're seeing the same people in the hospital. They just showing it to you repeatedly over and over and over so your mind can think that it's really bad. You got people saying out of New York that the numbers are not adding up. You got some doctors and some coroner people are saying that, say if the person might have came in with a toothache and he needed a prescription for pain meds, they're labeling that person as a coronavirus patient. They add them into the numbers of a death toll. You're coming in there with high blood pressure. They're adding these people in there who are not even dead or who didn't die. Those numbers, people, are not adding up. They're not adding up. Pneumonia don't really mean that you have it. It's just a double dose or 3 times more of the flu. It's a lot stronger. They got the world in hiding. Inside. AKA Passover. Stay inside. You'll be safe. More social distancing from each other. Who's making money out of this? Pay attention. Your essential workers have to go to work. Aren't they at risk? They've been at risk since they were told that they were essential. No masks, no gloves, just come to work. Did they tell them they were safe? No. But now they're telling them that they maybe want to wear a mask and some gloves. It's too late. It's been over, 3 weeks now. Trump called it out when he said that some shit wasn't right. He locked those borders down. But how did it spread so fast all over the world? When Trump says that other officials that were president should have taken care of some of these things, he's telling the truth. Like life, some shit we go through, people are going to blame you for a whole lot of shit and put it all on you when you play that lead role. And then you have to defend yourself. Okay? Look, to me, Trump is humor. He's entertainment. He's an entertainer. But he can't gain that out of this virus right here. Watch his words. Watch what he's saying. Because he knows that the news media is going to keep attacking him. And so now he's protecting himself. So when he watches the news and they say this and say that about him, he have to come back and try to say things to get people to understand that some of this shit that they're saying is fake. Come on, people. We've been hearing about what social media, the news, always shows us. We always get the boogeyman part. The boogeyman part. United States should always be protected from diseases. But who's to say that this regular flu shot is really helping us? You have nothing to cure this coronavirus right now? There's nothing to stop this? If you remember some years ago when the Ebola first came over to America, when they had those three cases with the scientists and the male that came from some part of Africa and it got into some parts of Texas, I believe that was Dallas, it spread it to some of the workers because they didn't know how to deal with the situation. No one's trained for this because we always think that we're invincible, that nothing can come in and uh, infect us. So, in a way, the United States did get lazy on certain things. You have to blame other officials. And sometimes it's like a dirty house, but there's five people in there, but it's just more than one person that causes it to get dirty. So you got one person trying to clean that mess up, clean everybody's mess up. That's how you have to look at the White House. They fuck it up, and somebody have to come back and straighten it back up again, all over again. The numbers are not adding up with this virus. They are lying to us. There's something else going on. This disease is man made. These are some evil people out here right now. You pay that much money for this health organization to protect us, millions of dollars. And this what it gives us in the United States? A death toll for some? Don't be fooled by all the numbers. They know the high peak of it. They know when it's going to go down. They know all of this. So we have to pay attention. We have to pay attention to everything. Sometimes you do need a team around you, but sometimes you have to watch your team because you never know who's in there. That could be a spy. Trump did the right thing by freezing the money up and having them people investigated because he knows that this shit is man-made. He's telling us. He's telling us. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'll support anybody that's getting double teamed on. This is real life shit when people trying to get you in trouble all the time at your job. Now, you might have not been the best person, but there's people out there that will try to ruin you. How can you ruin a person that already had a reputation? Trump is entertainment. That's all he is. And he knows that when they have those press conference and he have to check motherfuckers, excuse my language, he know the people that's in there, that's the enemy. Of course, he's got to retrace himself back on certain things that he say, because sometimes he moves too fast within talking. We didn't say he was going to be that professional. You don't have to go to school to be the president. You just got to be elected. That's all. And have the money to get in there. That's it. Okay? So the essential workers will, there's a funding bill that, that would help out the workers for putting themselves at risk. I believe some of these workers, depends on the funding that they give each person that actually worked essential jobs, they would get a raise because they would fund those companies the money to give these workers that were essential workers out there, taking the risk, from nurses, doctors, I believe grocery store workers, and so on, that are in the category of essential. This shit is man-made, and they got us behaving out of our character. They have pulled something on us that is so bad. This is a whole nother level on the world. And to understand that everybody that's inside their homes, you got to give Trump maybe a little credit because he wanted everybody back working. But at the same time, you don't want them to get sick, like if someone's carrying this virus, because you can have it and don't even know it. That's how secretive this virus is. Something you can't see, you don't understand. And you may not understand how you got it. Not all of us went to China. I understand how a carrier can go here and go there, touch this, touch that. I understand how that works. But this shit went like within 3 week period of time all over the world. There's rural areas like Mississippi. Who travels out of the country or to Washington besides your Democrats and your Republican politicians? Maybe some college students. But come on now. All over the world? Some of these cases are not even high-level cases. Versus New York having those high-level cases. We have to pay attention to this. We're all a part of math. And this shit here is not adding up. You don't have to understand all of math. I believe in life you should only understand math and adding and subtraction. Adding and subtraction is something you should only understand. Now, if you're going beyond that algebra, architect or whatever, to the moon, to the stars, that's different. But this shit right here is simple math. Those numbers are not adding up. And they're pulling some shit on us people. I'm still sitting here. I'm not staking the place out. I'm here for personal reasons. And what I'm seeing is not adding up. Now I'm starting to understand why they don't want cameras here. They don't want you there in front of that place recording who comes in, who comes out. Because basically, the only people that's coming out of there are the nurses on breaks. That's it. And whoever you're waiting on. It's after 5. I am hungry. So, hopefully, I'll be leaving soon. Because I'm here on personal time for someone. But I thought I would just push that knowledge out there a little bit. And people, I'm not trying to get you to believe me, but sometimes you have to go for yourself to see things and make sure that it's irrelevant within your lives. Because right now, this is a part of all of our lives. Now, unfortunately, it is hitting the urban community a lot more. Beggars really can't be choosers. And so you have to understand, and don't be racist or biased on this, but you have to understand that everybody don't have Medicare. Everybody don't have those benefits right now. And slowly we're getting better. We're getting better. We're getting there. But we as a nation, we as a community, we have to help each other out. Don't judge us. Don't judge each other. Don't look down on people. I'm here for, one reason, and that's just to, be that advocate. I'm open-minded when it comes to understanding everything. But this right here, this is war. This virus is bio-made. Because it's all over the world. Everybody's inside the homes. It's bad because if you're out there without a mask on, you could be bringing it into your home. It's not your fault. It's who started this. Who asked for it to go on. And we just have to pay more attention to some of the people that we trust. And some of the people that we trust, those are the people we don't see. Because the government lends all this money out and funds these people to, for diseases to protect us. And when we get an epidemic, this is not 1917 or 1918. Okay, what Spanish disease comes out and kills those millions of people and resurfaces itself back? How does that happen? We can't go blaming Alaska. Oh, it's the global warming and things are melting now. Come on, people. We're supposed to be better prepared for this. They're supposed to protect us. It's like we would protect our home. We protect our families. We protect ourselves, just life, when we feel threatened. How can you protect yourself if you don't have the legs, the hands, the arms, the brain to use in these cases? People are passing away, but those numbers there are not adding up. I'm still in front of UCLA. I'm on probably a side street, and I'm telling you, people, those numbers are not adding up. They're not adding up. I could go to probably every hospital here in California. These numbers are not adding up. They're making it perfectly clear to protect that front. So whatever the nurses think it is, if it's serious enough for them to block that door off and see who's coming in, who's coming out. They notepad check you. They ask you questions. They don't want to come near you because this is the fear that's put out there. Let's hope that if Trump feels like freezing those funds up until they investigate what's going on, because something like this, that if Bill Gates talks about in 2015, you still didn't get together with some of these scientists to come up with a vaccination for this so we could be prepared? At least America? I don't want to understand China, because blaming them for bats and dogs and cats, we don't want to hear that. We know what they eat over there, but they've been doing stuff, what they've been doing in their own country, their culture, for decades. There's something else going on. And we have to watch all of this. Pay attention to everything, people. Pay attention to everything. That concludes the podcast called Tell the World. You have a blessed day.